is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel Arunfoot. Today I want to talk about the video assistant referee, and I asked the question, do we need VAR in Indian football? And my clear-cut answer is yes. But, exactly, there is a but to that clear-cut answer. If it is brought into Indian football, it will first come into the Indian Super League. And there the question is, who will fund the introduction of VAR in Indian club football? And that's the starting and the end of the whole discussion, because that VAR has made football more just wherever it has been introduced is an established fact, despite the subjective feeling of fans of certain clubs, of certain nations feeling, you know what, VAR doesn't seem to favor us. The issue with VAR, in my opinion, is, and we were discussing this in my live shows in the Indian football discussion, is that the problem with VAR is that at the end of the day, there is potentially a human being sitting there to decide if there was an infringement or was not an infringement, if the referee on the field or his assistants do not see the infringement. So there is this subjective feel, this human error potential. And that is a difficult discussion, because in Europe, if you see that, be it in the Champions League, be it in the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, or in the other leagues, there are discussions happening after every match day. It's like, hey, is VAR really helping us a lot? Because there's the one or the other odd mistake. And I also have seen things, the most famous one most probably is at the Euros. Jamal Musiala shot, Kukurea clearly blocks it with his arm. Intentional, no doubt about it. And the penalty is not given. VAR doesn't step in. And UEFA says 3 months later, you know what, was a huge mistake. So what does it mean if we want to install VAR in Indian club football? Because the challenge is, first of all, to agree on the technology to be installed. Because there are very, very few companies around the world who are FIFA certified. I go back to example of artificial turf pitches, which are or have to be FIFA certified if you want to play a certain quality level of football. Who's going to take up the costs? Because you will know if you watch older videos of mine that the All India Football Federation is not in the best of financial health. It will not be done by the Indian Super League itself. So then the clubs come in. And what kind of costs are we talking about? We're talking in crores. We're not talking in a few crores, but we're talking a decent figure, double digit in crores for the installation of VAR across stadiums. And we have 12 venues, 13 clubs, potentially a 13th venue. Northeast United are set to add the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Shillong to the stadiums which have or which are hosting ISL games. So these are all key factors, and the factor of finance is most probably gonna be the make or break decision in regard to if and when VAR will come to Indian football. Then there is the question of educating referees and turning referees into VAR referees. And what we've seen, what I spoke about earlier, that in Europe, the discussion has now shifted from the mistakes that the referee does on the field to when's the VAR not stepping in, or maybe the VAR saw something or didn't see something. Or even sometimes you have situations where you think, how could that judgment be made? VAR, as I say, can and will make football a little bit more just. But at the moment, the VAR system which is in place isn't perfect. But let's take the example of the penalty situation, Kerala Blasters vs Hyderabad FC. Those kind of mistakes with VAR, most probably, and I say most probably because I'm not 100%, I cannot be 100% certain, they wouldn't have happened. So it does potentially make the game more just. But the arguments will not end, because someone or the other will always feel injustice was done to them or their club. But VAR, I hope, comes sooner than later to Indian shores. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Do you have maybe something to add to this point, to this discussion? Write them down in the comments below. And as always, like, share and subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. On my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very, very soon. Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.